Greetings, YouTube. It is so hard to believe, but we only have about a week left in the Infinity Dust store before the rest of our Infinity Dust turns to literal dust if we don't spend it. And so I am here today to concentrate on one specific question because there have been so many videos that so many great MCOC YouTubers have put out there in terms of the best value. I did this over a month ago, but what I'm hearing from a lot of subscribers that are kind of new to the game, and that means they've been playing for about 6 months or less, or even the intermediate people have been playing for just over a year. They asked me, what should I do with about 4 million Infinity Dust? I keep getting that question over and over again. I don't know if depending on the dungeons you run or what, that is why you get that 4 million number, but it seems between 4 and 5 million, really 4 and 4.5 million to be more precise, is what I've been asked. And I always say, well, it depends really where you are in the game because it will change depending on your progress. So what I have done is I've written down 3 different tiers of players, and depending on what tier you're in will be depending on what part of this video most applies to you. And so I want to start, let's say you've got just around 4 million Infinity Dust. For the sake of argument, it's going to need to be a little bit more, but let's just say around 4 million for this to work. Well, we know the best value in the game by far is the 4-star Awakening Gem Crystal for 500,000 Infinity Dust. Just go ahead and buy that if you haven't already off the top. That leaves you with about 3.5 million Infinity Dust, even though, like I said, you'll need a little bit more than that to complete the goal of this video, but you're pretty close with 4 million. Okay, so that leaves you 3.5. Well, what should you do? The temptation, and I've been asked this a lot, hey, should I get a couple of these 4-star hero crystals? Absolutely not. No. Stay away from that juicy 4-star hero crystal that you can get so much easier so many other places. If you are someone that hardly has any 5 stars, in fact, again, I've been messaged several times. Some of you, congratulations, you used the emergency maintenance compensation from Kabam this week to get your first 5-star, and some of you got Stark Spidey, which makes me jealous as heck, but also very happy for you, so way to go if that was you. Or Blade, my goodness. But anyhow, you don't have a 5-star roster. You have like 1, maybe 2. Well, 4 stars, you're going to be able to collect easily as you continue, but the 5 stars, not so much, and you won't see value like this again. So with 3.5 million left of Infinity Dust, I want you to scroll down, and I want you to just purchase the first part of this, 2,500 or 25%, 1/4 of a 10k basic crystal for a 5-star off the top. Now, if you add in your 500,000, you spend that 4-star Awakening Gem, that puts about 2 million of the 4 million Infinity Dust spent. But you know what? With the extra 2 million, you know what I would do? I would really challenge you to take advantage of the 5-star loophole, because the game's going to tell you, hey, just double up and get half of a 5-star crystal for 3.2 million. And that would put you right around your 400,000 or 4 million, Infinity Dust limit. But don't listen to it. There is a math error, or should I say a math advantage for the player. If you buy the first part of this deal and that's it, you'll be spending 1.4375 million. Then you come over here. So instead of getting your 2,500 5-star shards from the second level of this deal, you come over here and you buy 2 of these, which gets you 2,000 more, and that'll put you at 1.29375. And then your remaining 500, you also get 2 of these. And believe it or not, the difference between getting the second level of this and then coming over here to the left and buying 2 of these and then 2 of these, it will actually save you over 100,000 Infinity Dust. And so my challenge to you is to get over 4 million and to use that 100,000 savings if you are a newer player who's been playing for around a year or less, to come down here and try to get enough to at least get 1 tier 4 class Catalyst Crystal, because I take it for granted, given the alliance quests that I run with map 5 and occasionally map 6, depending on which alliance I'm in. I take it for granted because I've got like techs in the overflow right now. It's easy when you start doing that every week to think to yourself, you know what? It's very easy to get tier 4 class Catalyst Crystals. They're not a big deal. But when you're starting out, it is still so hard to rank 5 your first 4-star champion. I empathize with that. That is something that's very difficult to do now. Even now, I should say. It used to be almost impossible when the game first started. So, to recap, if you're a beginner, I would say get the 4-star Awakening Gem, get the 2,500 5-star shards, and then get 2,500 additional 5-star shards. You'll get half of a 5-star crystal if you play your cards right, or should I say Infinity Dust right, by getting one of these, 2 of these, and then 2 of these, and then with what's left over, save it up, and then eventually get yourself a Tier 4 Class Catalyst Crystal. And Prof, what happens if we don't make it there? Try to get yourself a Tier 4 Basic. That's a good compromise, and it's 300,000 Infinity Dust less. Okay, so that's the beginner. Let's move to the discussion of the intermediate. Let's say you've been playing for 1.5 years, maybe 2 years. Let's say that you are someone that's messaged me, you've just become uncollected, or you're about to be uncollected. Congratulations. Let's say, for the sake of argument, that you are wanting to beat Act 5, and you're wanting to maximize your ability to help yourself in that quest. Well, I would start with what I just finished on, and I would still take advantage of the 5-star shards, and I would still get at least the first offer of this for 1.4, and I would still get the first offer of this for 575, and that will put you right over half of 4 million. That'll put you around the 2 million. And then, in order to prepare for starting to rank 4, maybe your first 5-star champion, or maybe your second, you're gonna want to take advantage of the T2 Alpha Catalyst Fragments. Now, I've been told by a number of people, Prof, I don't understand why you're telling people to buy these when they're available in places like the Daily Uncollected Crystal and the Glory Store. Well, it takes 4 of these dang things, right, to rank 4 a 5-star champion. And it takes, 6 to rank 5 a 5-star champion? So you need 10 just to maximize one 5-star. So you can never have too many of these unless you're that one person that keeps telling me I've got Tier 2 Alphas in the overflow because Old Balls Logan and Satan herself are 2 of my only 5-stars, and then I just feel so bad for you, and there really isn't an easy answer in that regard, except for maybe to get more 5-star shards so you can open anyone that's not those trash characters, and hopefully not a Colossus as well. So you're going to want to get the Tier 2 Alphas with the rest of your Infinity Dust, and I want to say that should give you enough to use the remaining 2 million on the 18,000, and that will be fantastic. Now, what if you're like me? What if you don't have enough, or you don't have the classes to justify the biggest whale part of this, the almost 7 million of Infinity Dust, but you have, even though I have more than this, like 4 to 4.5 million? Well, I would recommend that you spend all of it, every single Infinity Dust particle you can, if that's what they're called, on Tier 2 Alpha. And just as the fact that there was a math glitch or something that's an advantage to the player when it comes to 5-star shards, there's the same math advantage in the Tier 2 Alpha Catalyst Fragments. Because even though it's going to tell you, hey, 2 out of 2 purchase limit, you can get a fully formed Tier 2 Alpha for 4.5 million. Now, for the sake of argument, let's say this is your limit, 4.5. Don't do it. Just get the first layer, which is 2 million, and then just like with the 5-star shards, go one box to the left and get 2 of these, and that will give you 14,400 shards for 1.8, and then get your remaining 3,600, conveniently for 400,000. This will again save you over 100, maybe even close to 200 Tier 2 Alpha Catalyst Fragments shards worth of value. So in a sense, you'll be saving 1 to 200,000 worth of Infinity Dust just by not being baited into automatically getting both levels of this top offer. So if you've got around 4.5 million Infinity Dust, that is my recommendation. If you don't have quite that and you're kind of struggling, I always say if you don't know what to spend it on, because they've announced kind of shadily that the only way that the Infinity Dust is going to be turned to gold is if you bought it in the unit store, I would recommend at least picking up like a Tier 1 Alpha Catalyst. You always need more of those, especially once you start raking up 5 stars. But don't spend it on boosts, especially like this 20% boost. I get asked about this all the time. Probably the worst value because you can easily get it for free every week by just doing alliance events. Do something that's going to directly help you in the game, and I always recommend that you want to stick with the catalysts and the 5-star shards, and then in rare cases this amazing, unbelievable, 1 of 1 purchase limit 4-star Awakening Gem crystal. So yes, another Infinity Dust video. This will be the last one I make, but I wanted this to answer your questions regarding that 4 to 4.5 million value worth of hoarding, and specifically depending on if you are a beginner, an intermediate, or an experienced player, what to do with it. I hope this video helps you. Good luck with your pulls. I really hope that I'm the last person to get Stark Spidey as a 5-star, because it feels like every day I'm getting a different screenshot from somebody. I'm very happy for you, as I'm very depressed for myself. Have a good day, YouTube.